We've seen what happened when Europe opened their doors to jihad. Look at Paris. Look at London. They're no longer recognizable. And I'm going to get myself into a lot of trouble with the folks in Paris and the folks in London. But you know what? That's the fact.
So it's Paris and London, two cities Trump has declared beyond recognition. Great statement. But hey, again, this is Trump we're talking about. Subtlety is not exactly his thing.
On behalf of His Majesty's Government and the United Kingdom, I would like to send my warmest congratulations to President Trump on his inauguration as the 47th President of the United States. For centuries, the relationship between our two nations has been one of collaboration, cooperation, and enduring partnership. It is a uniquely close bond. Together, we have defended the world from tyranny and worked towards our mutual security and prosperity. With President Trump's long-standing affection and historical ties to the United Kingdom, I know that depth of friendship will continue. The United Kingdom and the United States will work together to ensure the success of both our countries and deliver for people on both sides of the Atlantic.
And then we get to Keir Starmer, a man who made Trump sound downright menacing when speaking of long memories. Poor Starmer thought he would have a very dull week of policy talks and tea consumption, but no. Trump declined to RSVP to Starmer's political existence. That's right. Starmer was not just snubbed, but cross-snobbed, which is a whole different level.
Another thing that I'm with all the way is the UK Labor Party. Because the UK Labor Party, I didn't realise that the United Kingdom and the United States were actually the same country. But it seems that they are, because the United Kingdom's Labor Party is sending nearly 100 current and former staff to the US to campaign for Kamala Harris.
The Redcoats are coming.
The Redcoats are coming for the Blues in America.
Remember when Labor MPs were loud and proud cheering on Democrats? Oh yeah, something tells us that did not escape Trump's attention. The man notices everything from the Electoral College to who did not clap during his speeches. And when it comes to Starmer, it seems as if Trump decided, not today, buddy.
Would that have happened had Kamala Harris won the election?
Not for a minute. And this is Trump's first great victory. You know, he's such an amazing negotiator.
And let's not forget Trump's taste. He is fond of people who paint rosy images of him. Enter Nigel Farage, a friend of Trump in a suit of Brexit colors. Starmer, on the other hand, is everything Trump would probably raise an eyebrow at. A man holding a measured tone and with a liking for decorum. Indeed, it is personal for Trump. Loyalty itself rules Trump's world. Either you are riding on Trump's train, or else you will be run over by it. Starmer didn't receive that message, and he is now being taught a difficult lesson in that regard.
Trump is the most instinctively pro-British president we've seen for decades, and we ought to use that to our advantage.
How does that really translate, though, in terms of how hard Trump is going to be on tariffs globally and especially on the UK?
I can tell you that in 2016 and past the inauguration into the early part of 2017, the team around Trump were really anxious to get a trade deal with the UK and to do it as quickly as possible. Why? They wanted to show that they're not protectionists. They believe in fair competition, but not as they see it, unfair competition with China and other countries that undercut them on wages, on environmental standards and everything else. So, and of course, we couldn't do it because we were still part of the European Union. But now we're freed. We're not part of the EU's common commercial policy. We can negotiate our own trade deals. These are the prizes that are on offer. But, you know, if the Prime Minister wants to have a reset with the European Union and get closer to the failing, economically, European Union, it's going to be very difficult.
Here's the kicker, however. Trump still admires Britain. Yes, Trump loves the United Kingdom, as long as it is the one in which Nigel Farage is the central figure.
Listen, my advice to Keir Starmer is to stop being an idiot because, listen, Keir Starmer and half of the cabinet voted against President Trump's state visit last time round. We've got so many of members of the cabinet, David Landry notably, having carried out vitriolic and ridiculous personal attacks on Donald Trump. They're all now desperately trying to backtrack and they're all desperately trying to suck up to President Trump. You know, at best, they're going to be irrelevant. But at worst, they have done great harm to the UK's national interest. So they've got to grow up, stop playing petty student politics, and actually stand up for the UK, get a free trade agreement, work on ensuring our military and security agreements are robust, and learn the lessons of how Donald Trump is securing their border for us.
Let's pause for a moment to appreciate how much this drama affects the rest of the world. This is not only a blow to Starmer's self-esteem, it reminds us that the ultimate high-stakes reality show is politics. Who gets invited, who doesn't, and why. It's all the meat for the upcoming season of Diplomatic Survivor. And the fallout? Oh, it is there. Just now, Britain has received a hit for its public image in Trump's administration. With Starmer excluded from that meeting, it's the big hole where British influence should have been.
I was in government when Trump came in, and this is a foreshadowing for the Prime Minister of what is going to come under a Trump administration. They will be derailed almost every day by something that the President says or what the White House releases or a decision that they make that is going to distract from what it is the government wants to talk about. I mean, we had situations in Downing Street where Trump would wander out onto the White House lawn in front of the cameras and say, oh, something's happened in the UK, I'm going to go and call Theresa, and suddenly the phone would ring in the Prime Minister's office. Oh, God, the President's on the phone. And this is a foreshadowing for it.
The Trump thinking here is pretty simple. Why should he take seriously a leader that didn't support his vision? And let's be honest, Trump's idea of a grudge is well known. In Trump's eyes, Starmer's decisions weren't just bad politics. They were personal betrayals. But it is not about international affairs only. He has some battles at home. Critics are circling like vultures, pointing to his policies, or lack of, and raising questions about his capability to lead. If this was a movie, this would be the scary part where ominous music would start to play.
Now, the year that has just begun is bringing more trouble, it appears, for the British Prime Minister Keir Starmer. The 20 Labour councillors have quit the party. The lawmakers are all from the county of Nottinghamshire. The reason, well, the councillors feel that the Labour Party has abandoned what they are describing as traditional Labour values under the leadership of Keir Starmer. Now, some leaders have spent more than 4 decades with Labour before their defection, and the move has cost the ruling party its overall control of the Broxtown Borough Council.
And there is the narrative at home. Starmer's immigration and sometimes governance policies have let down some voters, much like a cake was supposed to be promised to everybody, but just stale biscuits have arrived. Public disapproval is great, and Trump is not blind to it. Oh, and added in the entire riff was Elon Musk, because why would he not? The king of free speech has been quite vocal in voicing his concerns about Starmer leading the country. If Trump can manage to see eye to eye with Musk on something, you are sure the universe is busy trying to hold back the interestingness.
Which are already 23% of 23% of all government income, income taxes, tariffs, and everything, is just going to pay interest right now. And that number is continually rising. So if we don't do something, the entire government budget will be paying interest. There won't be money for anything. No, there won't be money for Social Security, there won't be money for Medicare, nothing.
Of course, this creates a very interesting dynamic when one considers the position of Starmer's leadership in the Labour Party itself. Is he the captain that this leaking ship needs? Or is he just fiddling while Rome burns? The cracks are beginning to show with his party, and the dissenters aren't exactly being shy about voicing their negativity. What next for Starmer then? Well, he can either double his efforts and prove his critics wrong, or he can stand back while his credibility erodes faster than a sandcastle in high tide. The clock is running out, and the stakes couldn't be much higher.
Since our first meeting in September, the President and I have spoken about the need to deepen and invest in the transatlantic relationship. We will continue to build upon the unshakable foundations of our historic alliance as we tackle together the global challenges we face and take our partnership to the next level, focused on shared opportunities ahead for growth. I look forward to our next meeting as we continue our shared mission to ensure the peace, prosperity and security of our two great nations. The special relationship between the United Kingdom and the United States will continue to flourish for many years to come.
And let's not forget the ironic comic scene here. Starmer, leader of a party that prides itself as a party of diplomacy and bridges, is now staring across a bridge that Trump just set on fire. The optics are not good, and neither are the headlines. What happens next, however, is only too clear, as far as Starmer goes. It is about the wider relationship between the US and the UK. The politics of disillusionment is reminded by Trump's snub, for politics is just as much a matter of perception as it is of policies. Thus, the ball lies in Starmer's court. But will he rise to the occasion, or will he crumble under the pressure? Only time will tell. He has left the task of mending fences as he traverses the political minefield. And as for Trump, well, he made it pretty clear. All leaders understand through the exclusion of Starmer that loyalty matters, and Trump wields his sword mightily against treachery. So there it is then. Now that Donald Trump has shut down Keir Starmer on live television, what is next for Britain's special relationship? One thing is certain, it will not be boring. The drama is just warming up.